remember, it's more than just a radio station. It's a lifestyle. ChristianLivingRadio.com.
We are a blended family.
We are a blended family.
We are a blended family.
We're a blended family.
We are a blended family.
We are a blended family.
We are a blended family.
And we are a blended family.
You're listening to ChristianLivingRadio.com with the Snaps.
I get to talk about waffles versus spaghetti. Well, actually, that's what the video is. But this is all about the spousal relationship. It's blended families, week 5 of 12 already. We're almost halfway done. So, all right, let's start in the beginning. God created man in his image, and male and female he created them. One of the first things God did then was he blessed them and told them to be fruitful and multiply and take dominion over everything that moves on the earth. Birds, fish, everything else. So one of the things, after sin entered the Garden of Eden here, one of those dominion issues is, we're supposed to have dominion over everything, right? Well, there's a lot of things that are starting to have dominion over us now. Plants, tobacco, corn gets turned into alcohol. All these plants get turned into things that start having dominion over us. And then we have problems with addictions and so forth. So God created them in his image and then gave them something to do. So we have a purpose. And that's to be fruitful. So do something for God. Multiply, fill the earth with his image, right? That was the purpose, to fill the earth with his image that he created us in, and be in charge of what he gave us here on the earth. I could do a lot of political stuff right there, but I guess I better not. What? Yeah, don't need to go down that rabbit hole. Anyway, so we talked a little bit last week about the roles and responsibilities a little bit, and how single parents can bring their kids and your kids and become one flesh, and then try to blend all these kids, yours and mine, and all that together. But this week it's a little more biology, but it's also some good marriage stuff. Okay, again, we're talking about purpose. Okay, God created us male and female for a reason and a purpose, right? Females produce eggs, males fertilize them. There's a purpose. There's a function. And one does one and one does the other. We don't change them around. So men were created to be husbands and fathers. They're supposed to guide, guard, and govern. Like we said last week, they're supposed to be the prophet, the priest, and the king. They have authority, and they have accountability, and they have responsibility. One of those purposes is they're supposed to reflect that image of our Heavenly Father in their home, to their family. That's what we're supposed to do. That's what we're called to do. We were created to do that. Women were created to be wives and mothers. They're the queen, usually the teachers, nurturers. They deal with the kids usually. In the beginning, that's how it was. The mothers took care of the kids. They taught them. They shared the wisdom that they had gained. They shared that with their children. We're supposed to, train them up in the way they should go. Moms have a big role in that. Fathers also have a big role in that as well. Our Heavenly Father teaches us. He corrects us. He disciplines us. He chastises us. He will not spare the rod when we're sinning. He will correct us because He loves us. And it's because He loves us that He wants us to do right. And if we're doing wrong, He says, not going to get away with that. Not for very long, anyway.
Short rope.
Yeah, I mean, He gives us some rope, but most of us use it to hang ourselves sooner or later, right? And then, one of those things we just, there has to be a point in time where we only get so much rope. And, something I saw here a while back was sometimes we have to hit rock bottom so that we can figure out who the rock is at the bottom. So then we can go up from there. When you're at the top of the mountain, the only way to go is down. We always learn in the valley. All the good stuff is in the bottom here. That's where you really learn the good stuff. Up here, the pride tends to kick in, and then you slide down. Okay. Women, wives, mothers, teachers, nurturers, they're the queen. They have authority in the home and in their circle of influence. But it's one of the other things that they're supposed to be complementors and builders of their husband. It's part of their purpose. That's why they're here. We talked last week about the wise woman builds her house, the foolish one tears it down with her own hands and words. So things go well when we each understand what our purpose is and we strive to fulfill that to the best of our ability. When fathers are doing their best to protect, right, guide, guard, and govern, they're supposed to, like we said last week, get that vision from God, share it with the wife, figure out where they're going together, and then pass that on to the kids. Say, hey, here's where we're going. We are going, right? So I'm going over here. Y'all can follow if you want. No. That's mom and dad come together. They talk about this stuff. They, because there's usually some disagreement, or questions about, are you sure that's where you want to go? So you talk about it, and you reach some sort of agreement on, here's the vision I got, and the wife will say, well, I'm not so sure about that. Well, I really feel like that's what God's telling me to do. Well, here's what I'm hearing, and then you kind of sort it out and then go from there. But the thing is then, together, you get the kids in, and here's the mission. You share it together, right? And they're the employees, they're the kids, they pretty much have to do what you tell them.
Hey, this is A.C. Green, you're listening to Christian Living Radio.
Much more than just Christian radio, it's a lifestyle.
Hopefully. They should do what you want them to do, but they don't always, of course. And that's when you get the Board of Education out, right? And but the father, the husband here, needs to be the governor, and if there's any questions from the rank and file employees down here, he needs to explain it in a way that they'll understand, whatever that is. You get to figure that out yourself. Okay? So I'm going to be showing a little video here, and it's from Mark Gungor. As a little thing on men's brains, women's brains. I call it Waffles and Spaghetti, but he talks boxes and a ball of wire.
Well, the whole reason you're showing this is so people know some of the reasons for conflict is because men are different than women.
Yes.
And his video goes into a lot more detail, and he's a lot funnier. I know you're trying to be funny, honey, and you do good, but he's really good. He's been doing it a lot longer.
Yeah, he's a professional.
This is what the video is about. Karen, can I get you to shut both the lights, even in the other room there, because you may not be able to see it, but you're going to at least be able to hear it. She's going to shut the lights in the other room.
We're going to start discussing men's brains, women's brains, and how they're very different from each other. Now, I want to start with men's brains. All right, now men's brains are very unique. Men's brains are made up of little boxes. And we have a box for everything. We've got a box for the car. We've got a box for the money. We've got a box for the job. We've got a box for you. We've got a box for the kids. We've got a box for your mother somewhere in the basement. We got boxes everywhere. And the rule is the boxes don't touch. Discusses a particular subject. We go to that particular box, we pull that box out, we open the box, we discuss only what is in that box. All right? And then we close the box and put it away, being very, very careful not to touch any other boxes. Now, women's brains are very, very different from men's brains. Women's brains are made up of a big ball of wire. And everything is connected to everything. The money's connected to the car, and the car's connected to your job, and your kids are connected to your mother, and everything's connected to everything. It's like... It's like the internet superhighway. And it's all driven by energy that we call emotion. It's one of the reasons why women tend to remember everything. Because if you take an event and you connect it to an emotion, it burns in your memory and you can remember it forever. The same thing happens for men. It just doesn't happen very often because, quite frankly, we don't care. Tend to care about everything. And she just loves it. Okay? Now, men, we have a box in our brain that most women are not aware of. This particular box has nothing in it. We call it the nothing box. And of all the boxes a man has in his brain, the nothing box is our favorite box. If a man has a chance, he'll go to his nothing box every time. That's why a man can do something seemingly completely brain dead for hours on end. You know, like fishing.